Hey, it's Mega, aka the Art Messiah, back with another art tutorial, here to save you from your art sins. Today, I am going to be showing you how to draw the King of Pirates, Luffy, or Monkey D. Luffy. I hope you guys are ready. So go ahead and grab your paper, go ahead and grab a pencil, and we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Now I'm going to take you guys step by step. This is going to be part of my series of beginner tutorials, so I'm going to take you guys step by step, and I'm going to draw everything real time so you guys can follow along. And if you guys get stuck anywhere, then you can always let me know, but like I said, I'm going to take you step by step, so hopefully you guys can follow along. Now I'm starting with the blank page, you're starting with the blank page. I'm doing this digitally because it's easier to record, but personally I would like to do it traditionally, so if you only have pencil and paper, that is completely fine. I am going to be using my handy dandy pencil brush so I can get pencil-like lines. Alright, so we're going to get right into it. So in order to draw Monkey D. Luffy, we are going to start off with a circle. So if you guys can just draw, doesn't have to be a perfect circle. See how this is not perfect? Just go ahead and draw, a little circle going on there, okay? And let's go ahead and make it nice and big. Now we're gonna divide this circle in half with a vertical line, and we're gonna divide this circle in half with a horizontal line. Okay, once again, it does not have to be perfect. Once we have that, we are going to draw his jawline. So in order to do that, we are going to draw slightly slanted lines, just like this, on either edge of his face. See that? Just slightly slanted lines on each edge of his face. Okay? Now we're going to draw a line at the bottom of the head like this. Okay? And if you go ahead, and this is about a half, and then this is about a quarter of that circle, we're going to go about a quarter of the circle, actually an eighth of the circle, and we're going to drop that eighth right down here. Okay? Somewhere around an eighth. That's going to be where his chin sets. Now we're going to go ahead and draw. So now that we've set where his chin's going to be, so let me go ahead and draw this in red so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here. We have this distance right here and this distance right here, and we're pretty much just go ahead and have about that much distance between the two. Okay? And now that we have this point right here and we have this point right here, we're going to go ahead and use that line and go ahead and connect here and here, and we're going to connect that with the chin. Okay, you see that? Alright, and now that I'm viewing this, I am going to go ahead and actually change this because I can tell that the angle is not going to be right. So let's actually do that, once again. So this distance from here to here, we're going to mimic down here. And this time we are actually going to use that full line, just like so. Let me go ahead and erase this. So go ahead and take out your eraser and do that. Now we're going to then, like I had done before, we are going to go ahead and connect where this horizontal line meets that slanted line. We are going to connect it. Okay, So this is really coming along so far, you guys. This is looking good. We're getting the basic head shape down. And what I like to do is kind of just go over and define this. My bad. Didn't mean to zoom in like that. Define this head. Okay, let me zoom in for you guys so you can see a little bit better what we're doing. Okay, looks good. Now that we have the basic face, I personally like to start off with the eyes. In order to do the eyes, we're going to take this half line and we're going to drop another line down like so. Okay. And notice the placement of this line in relationship to this quarter line. Okay, you want to keep it around there. Now, there's several ways you can do this. I like starting eyes off with a box. And let me go ahead and show you the trick for that. Now, most people's eyes, and this actually pertains to Luffy as well, which is kind of surprising considering he's an anime character, but your eyes are about an eye length apart. So you see this middle space right here? You see how this is about the same size as one of these eyes? That's how you generally want to keep it. So now that we have those boxes to kind of just get our lengths down, we are going to then draw very lightly little ovals right on top of it, because Luffy's eyes are these oval shapes, right? So we draw oval lines going right on top of that. Okay, we're doing great, guys. Cool. Now that we have what looks to be our eyes, and I'm gonna wait because it's a little bit laggy. Now we need to go ahead and place in the nose, and this mark right here, that quarter mark is gonna be where the point of his nose is at, and the rest of his nose is going to fall right underneath that, just like that. So just make a little triangle just like that for right now. Okay, so things are looking good. Now we need to go ahead and drop in some ears. So to do that, I like to just start off with little oval shapes. Now the top of his ears are going to match the top of his eyes, and if you look in the mirror, your ears would typically fall somewhere within that as well. And then the bottom kind of hits that bottom of his nose part. So we just draw a little oval on this side, and we draw a little flattened oval on this side as well. All right. So everything is looking pretty good and it's coming together. Now we're going to go ahead and drop in his neck. So his neck is about, if you take a quarter of his eye, so if this is half of his eye right here, I'll go ahead and drop that in for you. Then you want to take a quarter, you want to drop that down, and that's where his neck is going to be. So half, quarter, drop it down, that's where his neck is going to be. Cool. So we're just going to go ahead and drop straight lines down for the neck. And that looks pretty good. Okay. So we got his neck, we got his ears, we have his eyes, we have his nose. His mouth is going to sit somewhere in the middle here, but we're going to go ahead and actually we'll take care of that, now. So we're going to draw the center line for his mouth, which is going to be halfway between this nose and this bottom circle. So we're going to go ahead and drop that middle line for his mouth. to be right here, and his mouth is going to end at halfway into the eyes. Okay? So go ahead and draw that line, go ahead and make it light, and go ahead and plop that in there. Awesome, guys, we're doing great. And that's his neck. Okay. Now let's go ahead and focus on his hair now. So the way I like to do hair, anime hair, is I like to take it one step at a time. And instead of drawing all the strands, we're going to go ahead and get the big shape. So make another circle going around his head, just like this, just like I'm showing you, going around his head. Okay, see that? See how it's just a second circle going around his head? Go ahead and draw that. And you see how it connects to that top of the ear like that? And it just floats right above his head, just like that. Awesome, it's really coming along, guys. Now, this is where we need to draw his hairline. So we have to determine how big his forehead is. Now, Luffy has a very big forehead. Measurement wise, you know, this is going to be our quarter of the way up his head, or right around here. So you want to go up halfway through that, and basically that's where his hairline is going to sit. So just draw a line going straight across like that. Okay, guys, that looks pretty good. And we pretty much have all the basic details down. So now we can start going, or I'm sorry, we have all the basic shapes down, and now we can start to bring this character to life. So before I do that, I'm going to do a quick check, and you can do this when you're drawing traditionally, and I recommend you do this, is that you flip the canvas horizontally. Now you can do this traditionally as well. You just hold your piece of paper up to any light source, and that's going to give you a mirror image of what you have drawn. And this is a great time to fix any issues you might have with symmetry. Now I've noticed some issues in my own drawing with some symmetry, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that up. Make this a little bit more symmetrical. Erase where you need to erase. Okay, notice that needs to be a little bit more symmetrical. Down here is looking just slightly off. It's not looking bad. And it's looking a little bit off. This needs to drop down more, so like this, and center lines going up like that. Looks good. This comes in. This needs to come farther down, and like so. So we're correcting that geometry. This needs to come in a little bit more, right? Not too much more, but a little bit more. And coming up here, this looks good. And we want to drop this on the outside. This needs to come outside a little more. And go ahead and ease out some of those lines a little bit. Okay. That looks pretty good. That looks more even now. Now we are going to flip this image back, flip canvas horizontal, and I think it looks pretty good. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, if you weren't drawing quite as fast, pause this video right here, okay, and make sure you can get to the stage, because right now we have laid down the essential parts in the essential foundation in order to build this character and make him really come to life. Okay, so take a second if you need to and go ahead and pause this video. I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, so hopefully you guys have paused. Hopefully you guys are at this point, because now here comes the fun part. We are going to begin to detail. Now, I love us starting with the eyes. The eyes tell the story. Eyes have a lot of emotion, but Luffy's eyes are very, very, very simple. So let's see if we can get this down right. They're very simple, but at the same time, they're easy to mess up because they are so simple. So let's go ahead and give this a try. So here we go. Now, starting with the right eye, you want to go halfway down and you want to follow that arc that you made before. Okay, so halfway down on both sides, you're just following this arc you made, you're making it darker. Okay, this is going to be his upper eyelid, so you're just making it darker. Go ahead and make it pretty dark. The bottom half of the eye is just a little curved line. Don't make it straight, keep it curved, but it does not go halfway like this upper eyelid does. This upper eyelid goes all the way. Okay, now we got the eye shape down. Let's go ahead and plop in his eyeball. It again, just another circle. Oda draws it right in the center of his eye, so go ahead and plop a circle right in the center of your eye, just like that, and then go ahead and shade it in. Okay, so it looks weird by itself, and that's why we're going to go ahead and add a eyebrow in. Now the eyebrow is going to be slanted, just like this. It's going to rest right on top of his eye, but it's going to be slanted. This edge right here is not going to come past the edge of his eyelid, and the other one's going to be just like this. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and drop in a line like this and a line like that. Awesome, guys. Okay, and erase where you need to, make it look good and fancy. All right, now let's do the same thing, guys. The same thing. We're not changing it up. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Nice smooth lines. It's just a rainbow. It's like you're making a rainbow right here. Okay, keep those lines very smooth, and go ahead and do the bottom. You know, you just follow that curve. Just follow that curve you made for the oval, right? And then we're gonna go ahead and drop in our iris right at the center of his eye again, and go ahead and fill that in, and then go ahead and add in the slanted eyebrow going down, and there we have it, guys. Okay, this is really coming along now. Okay, so this next part, we're just gonna go ahead and drop in his nose, and I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. And we're just gonna come out here, and the edge of this eyebrow, we go in, we go back out, okay. Actually, I don't like the placement of it just yet. I'm gonna back out of that a little bit. Back out, back out, back out. Okay. Let's do this again. So I'm gonna do it on this side actually. So edge of the eyebrow, come in like this. Come in a little bit more, and then you're gonna shoot it back out, and then you're going to end with one nostril, and using that triangle, you're going to go ahead and plop in that other nostril. Okay, how's that? Now if you're a little bit behind, go ahead and pause this video and go ahead and get these eyes done, because we're about to move on. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to add his infamous little scar underneath his eye. Again, it starts at the corner of his eye, this edge right here, and it just curves around his eye like so, and it has these two stitches. It got one stitch and stitch number 2. I like to make this first stitch a little bit more pronounced than this second stitch. Okay, That looks great. Now let's go in and finish up this mouth. So the way this works is that at this edge of this mouth, you're going to create a moon to create his mouth. Okay, so you curve underneath, right? Curve, 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 and you curve on up, 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 up. You go past that center line that you made, keep going, and there you have it. That's it. Just like that. And now that center line is going to be right in the middle of the mouth. And we're going to go ahead and just darken this outline. Like so. I'm going to take my eraser and we're going to start erasing some of these beginning lines that I had made. Don't need them anymore. So just go ahead and take your eraser and start to use that to your advantage and get rid of some of those construction lines. Okay. Now underneath his mouth, you want to add just this little blip. Just a little blip of a line. That's it. Keep it really simple. Just a little blip underneath there, okay? Okay. We are doing fan-frickin-tastic. Hope you guys are following along well. We're just go ahead and erasing some of those beginning lines as we go ahead and keep polishing this up a little bit. Okay. So we're gonna add just these little details in the teeth. So Oda does not draw the individual teeth, he just draws a little blip on each side. So we're just gonna draw a little blip here. Okay, and a second little blip on the other side of his mouth. Just like that. This is looking really good. Okay. So now we are at this point, and we're erasing some of these beginning lines that we made. And now what we are going to do is we are going to finish this face shape. So go ahead and follow along with me on this one. We're not really changing any of those beginning details, but we're just going to go ahead and really get this looking good. So we're just gonna go ahead and follow over these lines we made. Okay. Don't try to do anything too fancy. You're just following over those lines. Cool. And that looks absolutely awesome. Alright guys, now let's do these ears, okay? Let me show you guys how to draw ears. So we drew those ovals before, we're going to use that curve. So what we do is we go up. And now if you guys are having trouble drawing ears, go ahead and look in the mirror and look how your ears look. And so just go ahead and follow the shape that I'm making. You're following that oval, but you have a it's bigger at the top and then narrow at the bottom, and that's how your ear looks. If you are having trouble, like I said, go ahead and take a look in the mirror and see what you see. So now to finish this up, now that we have the shape of it done, this is what you want to do to finish it up. Okay, you want to go ahead and make And this is how Oda likes to draw his ears. You go ahead and put a little blip here. Follow that curve you made. Follow that curve you made around. And boop. Just add in a little dash of a line just right there. And that's it. And then call it quits, okay? Now, there is just one more line that you need to make. And it's this one. It comes out from that middle, comes out to the edge, and curves back around and in to the earlobe. Okay? And we're going to make just another little piece right there. And that looks absolutely perfect. And let's go ahead and add some more line work to the edge. And I'm going to duplicate this to the other side, so if I go a little bit too quickly, like I said before, just go ahead and pause the video to where you need it to be paused, and go ahead and follow along. So you don't want to get behind right here. So if you're lagging a little bit, go ahead and pause the video, and let's get these ears done. Okay, so we're doing this. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it so I can see how I'm doing. All right. Okay, we got this looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and drop in that same type of action as I was talking about before. You just come in, you come out, you do this, you come out, you loop back in, earlobe, this, and you're done. Okay, let me go ahead and darken that in. And that's looking pretty good. Awesome. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump back to the other side and flip canvas horizontal. There we go. Okay, guys. Now we have the face entirely done. Now we are going to move into his hair. And I'm going to show you guys how to go ahead and get started. So, what we're going to do is we are going to start. Go halfway in this eye, go up, and meet that hairline. Now at that point, make a little point right there, because that's where his hairline is, and that is where we are going to start this process. Now, you're going to take and make a curve that goes from there to the middle of his face, okay, and sitting right on top of that eyebrow plane, okay? See how I'm making this curve? Okay, now this is going to be our like kind of guiding curve. Perfect. Now we make a second curve that's doing the same kind of rhythm, but we're going to take it to the top of this eyebrow instead. Okay, so curve out and curve back in. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and just do something real quick. I noticed that my symmetry is just a little bit off, so we're just going to do a minor correction here. I'm gonna go ahead and scoot that in just a little bit and deselect that. Okay, so that looks good. Now we're going to sweep this curve back up, and now we are going to do an opposing curve. Okay, and Just go ahead and follow this general shape. Okay, and your hair does not have to look exactly how my hair is going to look. Thing with hair, it can move, and it does move in all kinds and different kinds of directions. So you feel free to copy exactly what it is that I'm doing, but I'm going to go ahead and go through this quickly, and you can either come with your own hairstyle or you can kind of copy what I'm doing here. So we're going to go ahead and just drop in all this hair. Alright, cool. There we have it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up for you. We're going to go ahead and erase some of those starting lines so that we can see what we have created here today. And we can go ahead and make this a finalized piece of art. Alright, guys, and there you have it. There is Luffy and the flesh and bone, I guess. Hopefully you guys got to this point as well. I'll put in some time lapse and maybe go in and do a little bit of shading and stuff, but that's how you guys draw Luffy. Hopefully you guys follow that step by step. I know I kind of rushed through that hair part, but just take your time with that. That is the most important part of the character, is just, you know, his hair and how it looks. So, you know, to study different images of how his hair works and just try to follow along with what I did there, and I'm sure you guys are going to have some amazing results. So if you guys did this drawing, just go ahead and tag me on Instagram, and I will definitely check out your artwork. Just type in @ArtMessiah, and I will be sure to check it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll be back with another drawing tutorial here soon. So, peace.